Like, if I had to make a tier list, I would say Kitsune Rush, Beat Drop are by far the top two. They're definitely the top two ults in the game. And then the top three is between Symmetra Wall and Cage Fight. It really, I think Sim Wall is like also a guaranteed fight win. Go on, make a tier list. Okay. Overwatch Ultimate tier list with Mauga. All right, here we go. Right off the rip, we'll put, oh yeah, why do they never have F tier? I've wondered that. Why do they never have F tier? Okay, Bastion ult is definitely F tier. Diva ult is definitely D tier, I would say. Dragons is F tier. That shit just sucks, dude. The speed buff that they had on the Dragons actually hurt it more than it benefited it. Tree of Life is pretty bad. I'll put that in D tier as well. Barrage recently kind of got buffed. I think Barrage is not as good as the rest of her kit, but it's not bad. High Noon, probably D tier. Like, if you could get a Lucio amping it, then it's pretty good, and you could get angles with it. Kitsune Rush is definitely S tier. Beat Drop, definitely S tier. Doom ult, actually, him being able to heal up while he's in the sky invulnerable is pretty good. The problem is what happens after it. It's really hard to land kills if people just walk away. So I'll put that in C tier. Okay, what else do we have here? Coalescence is really strong now that she can fade while in Coal. I'll put it in B tier. I think that's really solid. Yo, Riptide or Loki broken? I'll put it A tier. Everybody says, oh, Riptide, it's so easy to break. Yeah, unless you're playing against a Junkrat that has like the most insane movement with his Riptire. You ain't hitting that shit, and it one-shots 3 people, and there's nothing you can do about it, bro. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Anybody who says that Riptire is easy to break is just a Junkrat player. Opinion invalid. Opinion invalid, bro. You one-shot 3 people in complete safety. Like, when you Riptire, you're across the map. No one's on you. No, that is not a cosmetic ult. You're trolling. Yo, Loki Minefield got a huge buff. I think Minefield, like with the damage buff and the knockback buff, pretty much guarantees a kill. Like, now that you get knocked back further after getting hit by a mine, it's not like you could just like previously, if you got hit by a mine, you would take that damage, and usually you could bump into another mine, maybe not. But like now, it's like if you get hit by a mine, bro, you're getting up like a goddamn pinball machine. Yeah, that shit is so trash to play against too. I'm feeling pretty good about my tier list right now. I'm not even lying. Cage Fight, S tier. Cage Fight, just straight up S tier. I mean, it's so broken. You know what? Whole Hog, I'm going to give A tier as well. The fact that you can use your breather on and off now while in your Whole Hog, and you can hook. You have so much versatility in how you use it, and it's insane knockback, so you can keep everybody from touching the point. You can even break Cage Fight. A lot of people like to save their Whole Hog, and it actually helps that matchup really well, where it's like, if you do end up getting Cage Fight, which is usually a guaranteed fight win, you could use the Whole Hog to break it, or you can use it directly on the Mauga, and he has to break it himself so he doesn't die. Whole Hog's a good ult too. I think so, at least. You know what? Primal S tier. I think Primal S tier, it's in the hands of the person using it, but I think Primal essentially means you have 3 lives. You have 3 lives, insane knockback, insane movement, insane everything. No, it's not all about juggling. Sometimes it's just about surviving. You can recontest with it. There's like, I think there's a lot of versatility in that ult, and that's why I would put it in S tier. I think it's a really strong ultimate. Where are we at? Okay, we have more. EMP, I think, took a huge fall off, but I'll put it in B tier. I think it's still like one of those things where if you can set up a 3-2-1 EMP and everybody engages on it, it's great. But the problem is you're in ranked. How often are people actually engaging on your EMP? Be honest with yourself for a second. As somebody who plays a lot of Sombra, when I EMP, no one's walking, no one's diving, no one gives a f about that EMP. They completely ignore it. So the problem with EMP is it requires too much team coordination, so I'm not going to put it in A tier, although it could be A tier if people actually walked forward. Bob. Hey, my man Bob. I think Bob is probably a comfortable C tier. It's great for recontesting. It's great for stalling point. Not so great for landing kills anymore, I don't think, and it's not so great for surviving for a long time, but it is good for, hey, we need a touch, ball point, you know, your tank gets back, recontest. I think it's like it's very low effort, you know, so it's like for the amount of skill that you need in order to use Bob, like you need good positioning with Bob, but that's not really like skill, you know, it does all the shooting for you, it contests for you, so I'll put it in C tier. I don't think it's better than, you know what? I'm going to drop Minefield down to C tier. I changed my mind. Because part of me is like, okay, you can just walk away from it. You can just walk away from it. I'm going to put Mines in C tier. I'm going to keep Cole and EMP in B tier. Yo, is this Symmetra wall right here, guys? I think so. This has to be Sim wall, right? Yeah, I'm going to put Sim wall in S tier. You can literally sim wall point, sim wall payload, sim wall the control point, and half of their team loses all LOS, can't heal their tank, can't shoot anything, just completely nullifies half the lobby. Half the lobby just ceases to exist the second that you sim wall. It adds so much cover for your tank. It's a perfect way to engage on point. It's a perfect way to hold point. You have so much different ways of using it because you can rotate the wall, right? Like vertically, horizontally. Like you have options. I think sim wall is so strong. Moving on. Duplicate. You know what? Yeah, I think it could be really good for like multiple lives. The problem with duplicate is it's really clunky. When you dupe, you're stuck in the air. It's a really easy kill. There's like a moment when you dupe, it's like half a second where you just can't move and you're stuck in the air. And I think it's really easy to kill her when she does that. Like whenever somebody copies me on Ashe, I pretty much 2-tap them before they can even get a shot off. No, duping a tank, I would put dupe in A tier if it was old Echo. But now, duping a tank is never really good. You never really want to dupe a tank. DPS, you'll pretty much lose the DPS duel before you can actually shoot your weapon. And then support is really strong. Like if you can dupe a support, like if you dupe Kiriko or you dupe Ana or you dupe Lucio, like that's really strong. But that's assuming they have those characters. That's the problem. The problem with dupe is like you're assuming that they have the characters that you want to copy, which isn't always the case. I think I'm comfortable with B tier. I think it fell off. I think it's not as good as it used to be. Dupe used to be much better. Okay, Graviton Surge. Wait, this is Grav, right? I'm gonna guess this is Graviton Surge. Where's Sigma Flux? Oh, that's this. Okay. Graviton Surge. Yeah, probably A tier. I mean, after the buffs, the range buff, where it's like it literally sucks somebody in from 10 feet away. I think that's really strong. If it didn't have that buff, that recent buff, then I would have put it B tier, probably. But I think the new buff is so good for it. Remake is... Dude, you want to know the crazy part? Remake is a better ultimate than Diva Bomb. I'm not kidding. Most really good players use Diva Bomb for the remake. You have a better chance at getting a remake kill than you do, and you get your full HP back when you remake as well. Like, I think remake is actually a really strong ult. Well, strong mid, but stronger than her self-destruct, definitely. I'm actually considering putting self-destruct. Yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm going to drop self-destruct down. I'm going to put remake at C tier. All right, moving on. Rally's really good. I'll put Rally in A tier, I think. I think that overhealth and just that constant AoE, you got Inspire heals, plus you got overhealth, plus you got your packs. Like, I think it's so much sustain. Like, you could sustain an entire dive, an entire blade, plus now you have the stun, you get your full shield health back. Yeah, like, now that you get your stun right away, like your bash rather, right away the second, like, there's a lot of versatility in how you use it. I actually think Rally's pretty good. A tier. Genji Blade. I'll put it B tier. It's either B tier or C tier, to be honest with you. Oh, what did I do there? I mean, if paired with Nano, obviously really good, but Dry Blade, I think we're gonna talk about this as a dry ultimate.
Thank you, Daddy.
I think it can be really good. It just depends on the player. That's the problem. You know what? I'm gonna go C tier because I've seen so many clips of people swinging that thing around like a pool noodle and it's just like not able to kill through support heals. So I'm gonna put that in C tier. Blizzard definitely fell off a bit, but I still think it's a huge AoE overtime ultimate where if you're stuck at it, you're probably gonna lose the fight. I'll put it B tier. It's not quite on A tier level. Zwellex, thank you for the 8 months. Yeah, I'm gonna put Maze ult in B tier, and another reason why it's in B tier is because they added this stupid interaction where EMP can cancel Blizzard. Now somebody's gonna have to explain that to me because I hate that change. I think that is a stupid change because like Sombra can already counter so many ults, and now she can counter Blizzard just by EMPing the Blizzard. So if the other team's May pops Blizzard, you can EMP it. EMP makes sense? Dude, that didn't exist for a gazillion years. Why now? Guys, that interaction never existed until this year. It's like, that didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen at all. The game was perfectly fine without it. So they just kind of like throw Snowball down and place Maywall over it to block the EMP. Yeah, but then you're using all your utils. So you don't... nah, it's not... I'll put it in the same tier as EMP, but I'm not going to put it any higher. They basically cancel each other out. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? Widowmaker Sights. I think that's super good. A tier. I mean, you literally have to completely kite it. It's a guaranteed fight win. I think it's a guaranteed fight win. Most of the times in high ranks, if somebody pops Widow Sights, it's, yo, just don't peek. It's don't peek, wait it out, 15 seconds. And that 15 seconds is technically a team fight. Like, when you think about it, like, if you can milk off 15 seconds just because the other team refuses to play the game, I think that's really good. I think that's really good. I think Widow is bad. I think Sights is good. It's a team-based game. So it's one of those things where it's like you pop your ult, the other team either will completely disengage or your team has so much information. I think Widow Sights is really good. Again, I'm going based on high ranks. I'm not going based on low ranks. I think it's just a really, really good ultimate. Yeah, like Widow's pretty shit until she gets ult. And then when she gets ult, again, either other team will not play the video game and they're just going to completely wait that out, or they're going to engage and the other team just knows exactly when and where they're peeking. I think Widow Sights is a solid A tier. I think it's literally wall hack. Is it not? Am I wrong to say so? Am I wrong to say that it is literally team-wide wall hack? That's pretty good. I don't know. I think this list is looking solid, man. I think this list is looking really solid. It's just team-wide wall hacks. Okay, let's move on. Zen Trank. Let's do Zen Trank. To be honest, a lot of things with the DPS passive can kind of kill through it. That's my main concern. Like, I really want to put it in A tier, but I'm thinking B tier because the DPS passive, it actually hurts Trank so much because if you didn't know, Trank is just healing. Trank is just healing at very fast rate. But with DPS, with antis, I mean, I'll put it A tier. I'll give it A tier. I don't think it's quite beat drop level. Like, there's no way. There's no way anybody's gonna tell me that Trank is a better ultimate or the same level of ultimate as beat drop. That's... yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Because you essentially... like, the problem with Trank is you can't do anything while it's active outside of healing. Beat drop, you can beat... and then you can speed boost, you can boop, you can damage, you can 1v1. Like I just think there's so much more versatility in how you use beat drop versus how you use Trank, but it's still like a really good ult. Defensive ults in general are really strong. Defensive ults in general are super strong. Okay, Overclock. I mean, Sojourn just recently got a huge nerf. Like if we're talking pre-season 11, like I'd put that shit S tier. I'll put it A tier. I think A tier is solid. I mean, you still have like a super fast charge rate. You still have the collateral damage. You know, like you could still team wipe. I think you could still team wipe with Overclock. I think so. Boom, 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 boom. Like, you just build charge so fast. It's like, okay, sure, you can't one-shot anymore, but you can pretty much just two-tap anybody. It just goes boom, 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 boom. Well, she was already able to pierce while in overclock. That wasn't something that changed. Yeah, I don't know. I think overclock has a lot of versatility. She has really good movement while in overclock still. I don't mind this. Okay, I don't mind OC in A tier. Okay, let's move on. Nano. Nano's a weird one. Nano's a weird one, because like I said before, when you nano somebody, it's completely in the other person's hands, whether they get value from it or not. Like, how many flop nanos have you seen? Like, that's the issue, bro. Even at the highest rank, I see nanos going off, and people just suck. People suck, right? Or they'll pop, like, say you nano your Winston, they pop Primal, then you got a nano Primal, you pop Nano Blade, he gets insta-slept. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, I think Nano's still really good. I'll put it A tier, but I don't think S tier. I think there's too much inconsistency for it to be S tier. Too much inconsistency. You're literally just completely, I think you're just completely depending on the other person, and that's kind of the main concern that I have. I don't understand what your issue with sights is, bro. Like, it's literally a guaranteed fight win. If the other team waits the 15 seconds out, that is a fight win. A team fight is 15 to maybe 20 seconds long. If the other team goes, all right, guys, yo, they got sights up until 35. They got sights up until 35, and they don't play the game, that's a fight win in my books. That's just straight up a fight win. So I think it's like, in a lot of ways, like a guaranteed fight win. And if they do push into us Widow sights, like, usually they're just gonna get smoked anyways. That's why I don't see how Widow sights can't be A tier. Nah, EMP is not a fight win because your team is just not walking half the time. The problem with EMP, dude, is like, no one moves, dude. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've 3, 2, 1 EMP'd. No one moves. Like, no one moves. It just straight up, they're like, they English or Spanish, and they just don't move when I EMP. So it's like one of those things where I just don't, like, I can't sit here and justify EMP being any higher because it just requires so much teamwork, and if you don't have teamwork, then you're just gonna get old. Okay, yeah, everybody's talking about Winston ult. So basically, Winston ult gives you multiple lives. You can engage Primal, stay in afterwards, and you just get so much value. The best mobility in the game. There is not a single character that has better mobility than Winston while in Primal. On top of his boop, on top of his splash landing, on top of every, like, dude, Primal is so broken, man. It's so broken. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. That ult is so stupid. And it's not even like, it's just like crazy survivability, sustainability. Like, you just get so much versatility in how you want to use Primal. As long as you're not a shit Winston player, then Primal's actually just cracked. But yeah, but if you die in ult, yeah, but why are you dying in Primal? Jump out. Like you shouldn't be dying in Primal. You're just bad. Like, you're just bad. That's the problem. If you die in Primal, you're just not good. It's as simple as that. You should be able to get in and out, like, pretty much 90% of the time. Cozy Life, thank you for the 2 months. I like this tier list, man. I'm doubling, tripling down on this tier list. I'm loving this so far. I think we're playing this really well. The only one that's questionable, I just haven't really played her much, is Sojourn. Like, I'm set on Widow sights. It's a guaranteed fight win. It's wall hacks for your entire team, and the other team completely disengages most of the time. And if they don't disengage, they're throwing their life away. I think that's so silly. If you can't win a fight with wall hacks up, I'm just... Hanzo, yeah. So the problem with Dragons, and why I put it in F tier, is it was better before the speed buff. When they buffed the speed of Dragons, that actually giga nerfed it. That nerfed it hard, man. Like, you actually lose value on Hanzo Dragons the faster it goes. That was the main concern. It's still not a great ult, even previously, but now it's even worse. The most I'll buff it to is D. The most I would put it in is D. But I just think it got so much worse. It goes by too fast. You lose the effective time and the space that you make with Dragons if it just goes and it's just gone. Like, I actually think Dragons had other value outside of landing kills beforehand, but now it's like, if you don't get that kill off, you lose it. It's gone. It's gone. Pulse bomb sear lower. Let's continue. Death Blossom. I think Death Blossom is absolutely atrocious. There's so many ways of dealing with it. You literally 2-tap him, stun him, DM, Rock'em. I think the problem, I think that's a major concern with Death Blossom. D tier. Yeah, I'm thinking D tier for Blossom. Why is Widow ult in A? You could just mark the enemy. What does that mean? You could just mark the enemy. What are you talking about? The problem again, I'm gonna keep repeating myself because I think people are underestimating how much 15 seconds, 20 seconds actually matters. That's a fight win. If the other team does not peek, it's, hey guys, Widow sights are up until 35. You know what I mean? 15 seconds for Widow sights. You're just not peeking. That's, you just don't play the game. That's a fight win. You milk that time, that's just free. Solely imping a tank and blowing up is a fight win? Dude, you could just stun him. You guys play Cass.
I know how much 15 seconds matters.
You want an EMP? You want an EMP on a tank, dude? Just use your flashbang. Just flashbang him and fan the hammer. He's dead. Xerxes, thank you for the huge... I know how much 15 seconds matters, Warren. Don't worry. I get you. Thanks, Xerxes. Thanks, Xerxes. EMP is an easy A. I don't know. I think, again, just depends on your team actually walking in, and no one walks in. That's the issue. The issue is we're talking about ranked. We're not talking about pro play. Pro play, yeah, sure, man. Like, you can EMP the Mauga cage, you engage on it. Yeah, sure, I've seen it. But, man, I don't think EMP is that good in ranked. I don't think EMP is that good in ranked. I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, you're talking scrims, you're talking pro play. Yeah, for sure, EMP. You got a coordinated team. Everybody's talking. Everyone's listening. Right? You got the IGL, people are respecting them. I think, like, if you IGL, just because you IGL in ranked and you EMP does not mean your team is going in. And if they're not going in, you're dead. You're dead, bro. If you EMP and they're not moving, you're gone. You can't just translocate back to a health pack. Barrage in C tier, yeah. Yeah, now that she gets fuel back and stuff like that, it's actually, like, less shit. I don't know if you're trying to say it's better or worse. I'm not actually quite sure. I like where my barrage is. Everything's good so far. I'm not even joking. I think everything's pretty good. I think the most controversial ones would be Overclock, Riptire, and EMP. But the thing is, like, I haven't played much Sojourn, so maybe I'll put it B tier. Riptire, I'm keeping A tier. Riptire, man. I hate that shit. Riptire is so cringe. It's just a guaranteed one shot. Many people, boom. Insane mobility. I can't, dude. EMP is EM lame. It is usually predictable and I mean easy to stun. Wait, what happened? Everyone in here also needs to understand I think 99% of us does not play close to the same hours or skill level these guys do. Wall hacks for 50 seconds is broken. It 100% is. Genuinely, when EMP pops, I just go next team fight. The only reason I'd be willing to put EMP in A tier is because it just cancels out Blizzard and I have Blizzard in the same tier, which is pretty much the only thing that I can think of is like, oh, if you just EMP Blizzard, like, how are they in the same tier? That's the only thing I can think of. I guess you can EMP Cage Fight. Okay, and you can EMP Simwall. I'll put it in A tier just because of that, but I'm not putting it in A tier for, like, guaranteed team fight win. I'm considering EMP to be A tier as a defensive ult, not as an offensive ult. I think people use EMP, like, if you watch pro play and you watch Sombra pro play, they don't use EMP to engage. They save EMP for Cage. They save EMP for Simwall. They save EMP to cancel High Noon. You can save it for so many different defensive utility to cancel ults and not to engage with it. The problem is the ult should be used to engage. It should be used as an ult that you 3, 2, 1 and you engage in a team fight. But unfortunately, people don't move. And so you're better off just saving EMP for when your team is like Cage Fight, which is like an S tier ult. And then you can just cancel that out and you don't have to depend on a defensive ult, which sometimes your team doesn't even have. Sometimes you don't have the Lucio. Sometimes you don't have the Zenyatta. Sometimes you don't have whatever. Sometimes you don't have the whole hog. I guess I'll put EMP for that reason, but still, it's a stretch, man. It's a stretch. Graphitic Flux is insane, dude. I think Graphitic Flux is broken. I think it's so broken. I want to put it A tier. I want to put it A tier so bad, bro. That ult is stupid, man. I hate it. And remember when they made it so that it didn't have to have LOS on the center and they just removed... Yeah, there's an argument for S tier. When they made it so that it didn't need to have LOS and people were fluxing through walls and fluxing... That was so... I will never trust the balance team after that moment ever again. I will never try. No, but the fact that it even got green lit, like, you gotta understand, whose idea was that? Fire them. I'm not kidding. This is gonna sound messed up. Fire them. I'm traumatized. No, that 1 day, 2 days that was in the game was some of the worst. I don't want to say the worst Overwatch, but it was sure as hell janky. It was janky. Anyways, they should not be on the balance team anymore. Okay, I'll put S tier. I'll put S tier for Flux. I think that shit is, like, insane. Got a crazy AoE, crazy versatility in how you can use it. Yeah, I'll put it S tier. Okay, what's this? Earthshatter? Dude, that new change to Kiriko is actually so good for Earthshatter. I cannot tell you enough. Where she can't bring people that have been shattered down. She can't cleanse them to get back up. I think that's insane. I'll probably put a B tier. I'll probably put Earthshatter B tier. I think that change alone is what. If it wasn't for that change, I'd probably have it C tier. But I think that change. I think that change was crazy. They've been buffing Earthshatter like 6 different times throughout the year, and it's just kind of like slowly but surely power creeping, and they're gonna buff Rhine again soon. So it's like I'm gonna keep that in B tier.
To affect Venture whilst they're underground.
I just think, okay, if I were to balance Venture right now, I would just make it so Venture can't contest point underground. That's all I would do right now. I'm not even joking. You know, I think Venture's a new character. I don't think a new character being good is a bad thing, in my opinion. I think it just depends. I don't know. I don't think Venture is that much of a problem compared to Pharah. I hate that people always like to shit on Venture, but I don't think Venture's that problematic. Maybe annoying to play against, but I don't think Venture's that problematic. I know that's a strange take. Oh, we're missing Venture. Speaking of which. Oh, I just realized something. We're missing Venture in here. Oopsies. All right, well, we'll rank it after once we're done. This is Ramatral. This is Annihilation, right? This shit fell off, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Ram, I mean, you still have a lot of versatility. It's kind of like Primal in a way where you get like more armor. You get your armor back. You get your Nem form back. Like you get Nem, pop your ult, get another Nem. Like it's kind of cool that way. I guess I'll put it B tier. It's definitely better than Doom ult. It's definitely better than Minefield, right? Surely it's better than Blade. Yeah, I'll put it B tier, but I definitely don't think it's A tier. Okay, let's continue. Pulse Bomb. What do we think about Pulse Bomb, dude? That shit's hard to hit. As somebody who is a certified whiffer on Tracer, I just whiff all my pulses. I have a hard time ranking it highly, but I'm sure for good players, it's insane, and it's such a good like way to start a fight or force an ultimate or force a cooldown. In a lot of ways, I guess like my biggest issue with Pulse is that it's usually just to force a cooldown. Like, but sometimes that cooldown is like fight defining. You get Pulse Bombs back so often. You know, if you force a Bap Lamp, you force a Suzu before the fight starts, your team can easily capitalize on that. I think it's good for that reason. Do I think it's on the same tier as these guys up here? So what are we going to rank this based off? Are you hitting your Pulse Bombs or not hitting your Pulse Bombs? Because if you're not hitting your Pulse Bombs, man, it's C tier. I'm not kidding. Because you can still force cooldowns even if you miss, which is the funny part. Like, your Kiriko can TP away. She can still use Suzu because she thinks she's going to die. Which I think is actually really big. I think we go A tier. I'm feeling confident. Like, let's base it on if you hit the Pulse Bomb. If you hit the Pulse Bomb, you force cooldowns. You can even force ultimates. If you pulse a Zen, he's popping Trank, guaranteed. Like, that's just insane value. Right, and you build it so often. I'll put it in A tier. No, we haven't. By the way, just so you guys know, for anybody that's watching this right now, and if we do end up making this a YouTube video, we're not. I guess maybe I can organize each individual role, but that's not what we're doing right now. Let us continue. Queen ult. Now, here's the problem with Queen ult is Kiriko existing, but they just buffed it so that her charge up time for this ult is faster, and I think that change was insane. I really like that change. After playing a good amount of Junker Queen in the past week, I want to put her in ace so bad, bro, because I just dominate fights. If I have Queen ult, I dominate. I know Suzu hard counters it, but if you can like knife the Kiri, shout in, force her cleanse, force her to TP out, Like, I actually think this ult is so good. The only thing that stops it, in my opinion, is Kiriko. But if you could force that cleanse before looking for it, which is what you should be doing anyways with any ultimate, I'll put it A tier. I'm not putting it B. I'm putting it A tier. I think that just the anti plus the bleed plus you heal yourself all the way back up. A lot of survivability as a result of that. I'll put it A tier, dude. Like, even if you're half HP in their backline and you ult towards your team and you get all your HP back, plus they're all anti, plus... Is that Hog ult in A or am I tripping? Yeah, that's Hog ult, dude. Hog ult is f***ing crazy. I mean, I guess I actually would even consider putting Hog ult in S tier, dude. I low-key am considering Hog ult in S tier. I mean, it's a tank buster, guaranteed f***ing just blows up their tank when they engage in the fight. Break cage, break sim wall. So those two ults are kind of countered by Hog ult in a way. You know, I love the versatility of this ult. Nah, EMP is not the same. EMP is not the same. Whole hog is nuts. You can hook them in, continue to whole hog them. You can pop your breather while you're in whole hog. Like, I don't know, man. You can do so many different things with this ult. It's got insane versatility. I'll keep it in A tier for now, just because I don't think it's as good as the S tiers, but it deals with a lot of the S tier. You can, you know, you can hog the primaling Winston away, cage fight. Literally, like, most of these ults are countered by whole hog just existing. So I'll leave it in A tier, but still, I like this. I like this so far. I think EMP and whole hog have a place. All right, let's continue. Valk, absolutely trash. Oh my god, this ult is so bad. It essentially does nothing. The healing that you can output in Valk, you can pretty much do if you're just playing Kiriko and BAP. If you cut your losses and are just like, oh, like, I want to heal my whole team, you could just go BAP and just spam heal them and probably output more consistent healing plus a better ultimate. I think Valk is so trash. I'll put it in... Nah, I'm happy with it in F tier. I think Valk is awful, man. Like, it's great that you can fly around like a moth, but it doesn't exactly change the main concern, which is the DPS passive. How much does she effectively heal while Valk is active with the DPS passive on? It's not much. It's really good for her own survivability, but, like, you can kind of just do that with every other character. Okay, let's continue. Visor. The problem is the HP buffs, bro. Like, I used to think Visor was really good, and I still think it's a good ult, but the issue is the HP buffs, dude. It takes so long to kill anybody. It takes so long to kill anyone. Kitsune Visor is good? Yeah, I guess. But Kitsune anything is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, Kitsune anything is good. So it's hard to justify that, because it's like you pop Kitsune Rush, and every ult is buffed. Do I think it's better? I think what this comes down to is, do I think it's better than Overclock, and do I think it's better than Echo Dupe? Do I think it's better than Blizzard, Annihilation, Earthshot? The answer is no. I don't think this ult is better than any of B tier, but I do think it's better than many of C tier. Like, I think it's better than Remake. I think it's better than... Is it better than Blade? They're kind of both good. They're both pretty good. I think it's definitely better than Barrage. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I think it's like a C+. I would put Visor into a comfortable C+. Yeah, the glasses are Winston. Bro, you guys have no idea how good Primal is. You have no idea. Winston was not meta for 90% of Overwatch 2 for no reason, just so you guys know. Like, I need you to understand that Primal is cracked. Like, it's not... if you think Primal's bad, I mean, wow, dude. How is Primal not good? That ult is consistently getting value. Primal isn't that good. That's crazy, man. That hurts me. That hurts my soul, bro. That hurts my soul. That hurts my soul. Primal is crazy, guys. It's just nuts, dude. It's just nuts. I mean, Winston's the best dive tank of the game, and then the ultimate perfectly comforts that gameplay. Does that make sense? You get multiple different lives, consistently staying at max HP, booping, splash damage, impact damage. You got, dude, it's like environmental kills. You got everything going for him. You got everything. You can even use it with nano, like you engage with nano, so you have that extra sustain, and then you pop primal, so you got even more sustain. You get all your HP back, and then you're back in the fight. Like, come on. Come on, dude. I think it's hard to say that it's not S tier. Yeah, we don't have a venture icon, but we'll get there. Okay, Arisol, let's keep going. Let's keep this going. Sorry, I don't want to stall on things that I ranked, 30 minutes ago. Arisol's really bad. Really bad. It's definitely D or F tier. I guess D tier. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. I'll put D tier, D minus. If there was a D minus, it would be D minus. I'll put a D tier. I think the Fortify is nice in it, but that's pretty much all it's used for. Like, I don't think you're really using Arisol to like land kills. It's really hard to execute kills with it because people just kind of walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's the charge time. It's everything about it. I don't know. You pretty much only use it for sustainability because of Fortify. But then again, it's like Fortify keeps getting nerfed in different ways over the months. Okay, Torball. We can do Ant Matrix. So this is BAP Ant Matrix. It's really good, but it's not as good as it used to be when it used to be a goddamn garage. It's good though. Yeah, it's good. I mean, you pretty much use it very selfishly in a lot of ways. You can heal through it. You can DPS through it. Yeah, I think C tier is fine. I think C tier is fine. A tier? The thing about BAP window that I don't like is you kind of just get trampled in a lot of ways. Like, you could just get trampled and then you get no value from it. I'll put a B. I'll meet in the middle. I'll put a B because I think, like, similar to Widow sites, if you pop window, the other team, if they decide to not move, that's immediate value. If they decide to completely wait out the Ant Matrix, then you already get your value there. Like, that's what I'm saying about Widow sites and Ant Matrix. Any ult that completely makes them disengage from the fight and they completely neglect the objective and waste all their cooldowns backing out of the fight, I think that is immediate value. That's literally what I'm saying about Widow sites and Ant Matrix. Widow sites more effective at doing that than Ant Matrix. I'm going to put a B tier. Molten Core. Torpcom. Good zoning ult, but that's basically it. It's either C or D. There's no way it's B tier. S with Malga ult combo. Yeah, but you can combo anything with Malga ult, man. I can combo spitting on them. I can fly above them and spit on them and I'll team wipe them. That's the problem. The problem is, like, Malga ult, it's just like a guaranteed fight win alone. Don't even need a combo. You just ult and you just win the fight. Like, that's the issue that I have with Cage. Cage and Hawktua. No, it's not even funny. Hawktua's not even funny, but it was funny there for some reason. It's not funny. Okay. Okay. I like C tier. I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about combos because if we were going to do a combo tier list, I would do a combo tier list. You see what I'm saying? I'm going based on the ults individually, right? Because then if we were doing combos, then you got Kitsune Visor, which I would put S tier or even A tier. You got Kitsune Nano Visor. You got Nano Overclock. Like if we're going based on combos, then this is a completely different tier list. Everything changes. Everything changes. Yo, guys, Alari ult. It might be S or A tier. Dude, this ult is insane. If they don't got Kiriko, you're cooked, man. If they don't have Kiriko, but most of the time they will have Kiriko, I'm going to put it A tier for that reason. I'm putting it A tier with Queen ult because Queen ult and Alari ult suffer from the same fate. The fate here is Kiriko Suzu. If Kiriko is on the enemy team and you are a Junker Queen or you are an Alari and you Alari ult or you Queen ult, like, Kiriko just completely nullifies both of their value. But without Kiriko existing, it'd be S tier, but Kiriko just does too much. And this is it. This is the official Warren TV Ultimate Season 11 tier list. I'm happy with this. I think this is solid. Man. A lot of you guys are underestimating just how much time matters in this game. Like, it's not all about team wiping. Sometimes it's about, like just forcing the team out of position, which Primal can do. Probably the best out of any ult in the game. I don't think there's a single ult that dispositions the enemy team the way that Primal does and spreads their backline open like a chicken ready for seasoning. I think Widow Sights is extremely good at making people just not play the video game. Like, when you pop Sights, are you peeking? If you do, you're probably dead. You either got a Hanzo lining up that shot, you got a Sojourn lining up that shot, you got a Widow lining up that shot, you got a Sigma ready to rock that corner. Most of the time, you're not playing the video game. I think Sights is extremely good. I think Widow is horrible. That's the main... So, the thing here is, like, When I put an ultimate in a certain tier, I am not ranking the hero. And I think a lot of people are mistaking me for ranking Widow high. I would not rank Widow high, but I do think Sights is the best part of her kit by far. Without Sights, Widow is even worse. That's the main concern. The main concern that I have is people are attaching their emotions for a hero to the character. Junkrat is a perfect example of that. Junkrat is a pretty bad character in general, but Riptire, on the other hand, is insane in my books. You know? That's just how it is. Which one is the one to the right of Primal? That's Symmetra Wall. Symmetra Wall is disgusting, dude. That ult, man, I'm never moving it out of S tier. I will never put that ult out of S tier since the moment that it was that they got rid of shield generator and they brought in that ult, dude. It's so good, man. It's so good. I could do nothing. I can be 3 kills and 10 deaths and finally get Simwall and win the game. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing. Is like, it's just one of those ults where, like, I know I can do air for the entire game, get Simwall, and then win the fight that matters the most. What is her ult now? It's Simwall. It's a big wall that spreads across the entire map and covers top from the skybox all the way to the ground. And this has taught me a lot. I hope so. I hope so. I like this tier list. I think this tier list is very accurate. I think so. Like, everybody was mad at me for being Echo dupe and B, but duping a tank is way worse than it used to be. When you used to be able to dupe tanks and get max value, I would put it A or even S tier. But I think if you dupe a DPS, you're going to lose the DPS duel most of the time.
What about Venture Alt?
Like, oh yeah, Venture Alt. Sorry. My apologies. I forgot that I would rank Venture Alt. Let's use Mercy Valk, okay? Sorry, this is gonna seem strange. Do you guys see Mercy Valk? This is gonna be Venture Alt. Probably B. I think B tier. C tier, B tier, C tier, B tier. In low ranks, insane. Insane. High ranks, C tier, low ranks, B tier. That's what I would say. That's my final verdict. I'd say, like, if there was a rank right here, if there was a B minus, Venture Alt would be right here. This is where I would put Venture Alt. I think it's more B minus leaning than C plus. Nah, it's not a B plus. It's a B minus more than it is a C plus, in my opinion. But for now, I'll put it yeah, right here. This is an everything list. This is an everything list. My Ash gameplay is getting insane. I'm really glad. I'm really happy for you. Nah, Blade as a dry ultimate. You guys got to keep in mind, I am ranking the ultimates on their own. I'm not ranking the ultimates based on comboing with other ultimates. So, you got Nano Blade, you got Nano Overclock, you got Nano Visor, you got Nano this, Nano that. Naturally, that makes ults better. No shit, right? No one's going to disagree with that. You got Max Sustain, you got, you know, like extra damage. Sigma and S tier, yeah, dude, Flux is... Turn your brain off, win the fight. I hate Flux, man. I hate Flux. I like this. I like this tier list. All right, let's put Mercy Valk back in F tier. And there you have it. There you have it. I wonder if there's anything that I would change. Any last second changes? No. No, I like this. I like this. Another thing that's worth mentioning is the health buffs. I think this tier list would also change a lot had they not buffed everybody's HP.
Happy Boy Pussy Thursday.
Happy BPT. Yeah, like if there was no HP buffs, I think this tier list would look very different right now. It definitely threw off a lot of ultimates. I mean, some would not change. Kitsune Rush and Beat Drop, no one's gonna disagree that they are that they aren't. No one's gonna say that they aren't S tier. Why'd you put Rally at A tier? I'm gonna be honest with you. Most support alts are just super broken. Like, except for Tree of Life and Valk. That's the explanation. Yeah, well, even Tree of Life is pretty bad. I think it's just like a support thing. I think the devs care a lot about whether or not their support players are playing the game or not. You know what I'm saying? Like they that's all they really care about. So y'all are never gonna get nerfed. Like, realistically, if they wanted to balance this game, they would have nerfed Kiriko a long time ago, but... Or, like, effectively nerfed her. I feel like Val could be C tier for only Mercy though, because she's kind of hard to kill. Kill her entire team. You understand? The problem with Mercy Valk is like, okay, sure. Okay, sure. You can't kill the Mercy. The Mercy has great movement, whatever. But the issue is you can just kill her entire team while that's happening. Valk is not a good ultimate. It's just not.